The University of Michigan is one of the best universities in the world, ranked 25th nationally by the U.S. News & World Report, and as the best public university in the country by the Wall Street Journal. Attending this university demands a lot out of students. Indeed, for the incoming class of 2021, the average high school GPA was a 3.9, and the middle 50% of SAT scores ranged from a 1400 to a 1540. Students here go from being some of the best and brightest at their high schools to being surrounded by the people who have the same academic accolades as they do. Big fish in a little pond are suddenly in a much bigger pond. With these stats, it's no surprise that many students at Michigan start to feel imposter syndrome. But what is imposter syndrome, and how can you combat it? Imposter syndrome, the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. At the University of Michigan, it might look like feeling as though your admission was a mistake, or that everyone around you is much more successful than you, and you really were the admissions office's last choice.
I'm going to be talking about the history of imposter syndrome. It first was founded by Pauline Rose Clance and Suzanne Immense. They were psychologists, and they found the pattern in their women clients in therapy sessions. But subsequent research has shown that multiple people, not just women, experience these imposter feelings. Now we're going to specifically talk about college students at University of Michigan. So the consensus we had from our interviewers was the first overwhelming feeling was that they felt that other students knew more, or like they didn't belong, or it was a mistake they were admitted. And then we asked them what has helped them to ease their worries is getting more connected. So relatability can really help these imposter feelings to be minimized.
So today we're doing a video essay on imposter syndrome. So do you know what imposter syndrome is?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Imposter syndrome is when you get to a place and you feel like, even though you are qualified, you feel like you don't belong. Okay. Is that something you've experienced while at Michigan?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely?
Yeah.
What about Michigan makes you feel like that?
Well, I'm from Spain, so it's too big of a school compared to schools in Spain. Even though I haven't been to a college in Spain, this seems like too many people are here, and even though there's too many people, you might just not meet anyone that you feel like you could be really good friends with, at least at the beginning. I hope it gets better though.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. So have you guys ever experienced imposter syndrome here?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Especially in larger lectures, sitting in chemistry or something, feeling like everybody gets all the problems right, answers all the eye clickers right away, and I'm just how does everybody know how to do this? I should not be here.
Yeah, the same thing. I feel like everyone's just constantly grinding and doing the best of the best, so it's hard not to compare. I feel like you don't belong.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys have done as older students to kind of try and combat that in your day-to-day lives?
I think the more friends I've made within classes, I've learned that nobody really knows what's going on, and that's really helped figure out that we're all kind of lost.
I feel like I just try to remind myself we all got in here for a reason, and that we shouldn't compare ourselves to others because we all have different work ethics and ways of going about things. So I try not to stress about things that I can't control.
Do you guys know what imposter syndrome is?
Yes.
Can you define it for me?
I guess a good way to define it would be not feeling like you're smart enough, or feeling like you can't do something because people around you are too smart, or they can do it and you can't.
And then have you guys ever experienced that while at Michigan?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I would say so.
Can you give an example?
I'd say in the College of Engineering and programming classes, some people are really smart, they know exactly what they're doing, and then other people don't know fully what they're doing. So
is there anything you guys have done to kind of make yourself feel oh, I really do belong here, or is it something you still struggle with?
I'd say a lot of times I think about how I was in high school, how I am here. There's a reason I'm here, and I know at the end of the day someone's always smarter, but that doesn't mean I can't do anything. So a lot of self-talk, I guess.
I feel like it's also just a mindset thing, regardless of what people around you are doing. Just reminding yourself that you're meant to be here and you're doing just fine regardless of where you are in your journey.
Do you know what imposter syndrome is?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever experienced it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I made the hard decision of thinking of switching my whole major, and I didn't have any experience in CS, so that's when I felt it pretty big, because there was kids in my class that had been coding since they were kids and stuff. So
Have you ever felt it outside of campus, or has it been pretty unique to your experience at the University of Michigan?
I did feel it a little bit in my internship. So I was a software engineer intern for the past couple of semesters, and in the beginning I definitely felt it just because like that was a unique experience. I've never really been in like a workplace environment type thing, but then I had incredible mentorship along the way, and then I had a lot of friends that were kind of doing the same thing, and we were having pretty open conversations about how all of us were feeling. And I think if you just take the day-to-day tasks and kind of like hone in them, ask good questions, like it kind of works itself out.
Awesome. All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
As we've seen, imposter syndrome is pretty prevalent here at U of M, and the way the institution is set up makes it pretty easy for this phenomenon to keep occurring and to keep making students feel like they don't belong. But luckily enough, we do have some resources for combating it in your day-to-day life.
First one is finding your triggers. So once you notice you're feeling these feelings, or if you're just thinking self-deprecating thoughts, notice that, and then you can just change your mindset. So change those thoughts. Once you get a self-deprecating one, change it to a more positive one.
The next step is to change how you talk about yourself. Instead of asking a question and prefacing it with, I have a silly question, just ask the silly question. You deserve to get to be able to ask questions, and the smartest people really do ask questions. It's how you learn. The admissions team at U of M is super rigorous, and you got in because you deserve to be here. So trust that all of the decisions that have led you here were the correct ones, and trust that you're making the right decisions by continuing to go here and continuing to pursue your passions, even if it may seem hard. What you see on everybody else's face is a highlight reel. It's just like social media. Nobody is as perfect as they are on Instagram, and the people around you in classes aren't actually as perfect as you think they are either. And if you really dig deeper, everyone feels just like you. You deserve to be here. Go Blue.
Go Blue.